Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and happy Bookmas! So we will be doing 12 days of Bookmas. So for the next 12 days, you'll either get a bookish video or a vlog video every single day up until December 12th. This was something that I went back and forth on, but I really appreciate y'all for going and voting on this poll because honestly, if I would have done 25 days, I think I would have burnt myself out, so 12 days is much more feasible. But at the beginning of the month, usually we always start with our TBR game, so that will be what today's episode is. So I hope you're all ready for our very last edition of Defend the TBR. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be completely done with Defend the TBR. That just means that we're going to be done with this edition. I have really enjoyed playing this game, but at the same time, while I've been playing, I've just realized that there's certain things that I've been really wanting to change with it. So there will be some exciting stuff happening to our Defend the TBR game board, as well as some really fun things that I've been working on making, as well as having my partner help me as well. And I'm just so excited because this will be a TBR game that everyone will be able to play, and it will be free. So if you're excited for that, maybe consider leaving a like, possibly subscribe to my channel, so that once we get into the new year, you can go and see what changes we have. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's actually go over how our Defend the TBR went for the month of November. So this is going to be an interesting one because the month of November was a bit busier than usual, and that is because I was a part of the Dungeons and Book Dragons readathon, and so because of that, I was kind of reading a variety of books. I was a little bit all over the place, and a lot of the time I kind of forgot about my TBR. So with roll number 1, we landed on a Kindle pick, which was read a book that's been on your Kindle the longest, and I went with Wastelander by E.J. Luck. I can't read my handwriting. But I completely forgot about any of the Kindle books I had originally picked. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to go and read this book. Then roll number 2 was a pet pick, and that was Killer on the Road / The Babysitter Lives. I can say that I was able to complete this book, so we get 5 points so far. Then we landed on Short Rest for roll number 3, and I decided to go with Read from Our Discard Pile for 5 points. And the book I picked was Desperate Characters by Paula Fox. I was able to read this one, so we got an extra 5 points. Then the next roll we landed on was another pet pick, and Nugget went with Snow Globe. And while we were doing the readathon, I just wasn't really in the mood to go and pick up Snow Globe. So this is another one that I'm hoping I might go and pick up again, maybe in the month of December, especially since I'm wanting books that maybe have a snow theme involved in them. And then our last book pick for this was roll number 7, and my partner Charles ended up going and picking Fall I Want, and that is 1 point. However, I didn't start reading it until November 29th, and unfortunately, I'm still kind of working on reading this, and I didn't really want to push myself to finish this before the month was over with, so I will probably be continuing this book in December. I did start it, I just sadly cannot count any points for it because the points only count if I did finish the book. So looking at that, we only earned a total of 10 points from this round, and that will be added on to what we've had so far, which will go and leave us with a total of 39 points. Now, even though I'm not continuing this version of Defend the TBR that we have, I might go and carry the points over once we start our new improved version of the game, but I can also restart from scratch. So if you feel a certain way about this, if you think I should carry the points over, or if you think I should completely start over, let me know in the comments below, because I do want to include y'all in some of the pieces of this game moving forward. So please let me know what your thoughts are about what I should do with these points. Should I just kind of start fresh in the new year, or should I carry them over, including the points that I earned for the month of December? Okay, so as you can see, my Defend the TBR for November didn't exactly go as planned, but you'll see in my wrap up why and what the books were that I ended up going and reading, because I did read probably the most books that I've ever read in the year so far. But because of the quests that we got, it did kind of influence what books I did feel like picking up from our TBR game. Now for December, we need to pick a bunch of new books for the ones that we're going to be reading, and I'm really excited to see what we end up getting with all of our rolls. Even though I am going and starting over on the board game, I do still want to use this to go and determine what books we're reading. So with that being said, let's switch over. All right, we have our board game back again, and I have our little place marker where we left off last time, which was partner pick. I think I'm gonna do around 4 rolls. I know I usually say that and then sometimes I add a little bit extra, but I think I'm gonna do 4 rolls because I do have a few other book ideas in mind for the channel for Bookmas, so I want to keep things kind of open. So with that being said, let's pick up our dice and let's roll. All right, we got 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pet pick, yay. Okay, I'm gonna go and pick some books. Oh no. Wait. I screwed up. I screwed up.
I hope you're recording.
I am. She went without.
The mail messed us up.
Yep. We were just like, okay, she's not up here. Okay, second roll. We got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kindle pick. Read a NetGalley arc. Ooh, okay. I know which one we're gonna do for that. The one I'm gonna go with is actually I, Medusa. I do have a NetGalley arc for this one, but I have the physical, so we're gonna go and read it this way since Kindle hasn't been working well for me. Rule number 3. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Love it or lose it. Okay. I'm gonna go with The Wives by Taryn Fisher from our Love It or Lose It bookshelf. All right, and then last roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A book buying ban. Okay. So basically with the book buying ban, this came at the perfect time. So basically we have to go and roll a dice to see how many days we have to hold off buying any books. And with Christmas and then my birthday coming up January 6th, I do need to not buy any books. So we're going to roll this dice to see how many days we have to hold off. And if we're successful, we get 3 points. And if we're not successful, we lose 3 points. And we got 5. So I need to not buy books for 5 days. All right. So since we didn't get another book with us, let's do one more roll just to see what books we end up getting picked. So let's roll. Oh, we got a 6 this time. Oh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's pick a card. Read the longest book on your shelf. Ooh, I think I'm gonna repick because I'm in a little bit of a slumpy mood, and I feel like this is just not gonna go well for me because I don't really feel like reading a super long book. So let's pick one more card. Read a book that is between 200 to 300 pages. Okay, this is much more doable, so let me look at my bookshelf. Okay, I figured out a book, but I'm gonna make a couple of changes, so let me go and tell you about them on the recap. Okay, so we are back, and let's go and do a recap of all the rolls. I did make some last minute changes, but it's still gonna be the same books, but potentially for different things, so let me go through them with you. So roll number 1, we landed on Pet Pick, and as you saw, Nugget had a little bit of a moment where she got distracted because the mail showed up at the worst time, but she was able to pick a book for us, and she went with Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is on my 10 before the end, and is also on my Romantasy bingo, so Nugget is really helping me out by picking this book so that I'm able to get a spot marked off not only on the bingo board, but also on my 10 before the end, and this would give me a total of 5 points if I'm able to successfully read it this month. Then for roll number 2, we landed on a Kindle pick, and it gave us a NetGalley arc. Now, originally, I was going to go with I, Medusa for this because I do have a physical copy for it, But then I realized at the last minute that I actually have an arc that I really need to get to, and that's A Fortnight to Forever by Alicia E. Anderson. This is one of my favorite indie authors. I've been reading The Enchanted Isles by her, and I recently got accepted to be a part of her street team for this book, so I'd really like to go and read this. So I'm switching things around, and that's going to be my pick actually for this one instead. And if I finish this book, I will get a total of 4 points. Then roll number 3 was a love it or lose it pick, and unfortunately this spot on the board does not give us points unless we land on one that specifically gives us a card with points. But I decided to still go and pick a book from my love it or lose it shelf, and I picked The Wives by Taryn Fisher. This is one that I've kind of been back and forth on if I want to read it, if I don't want to read it, and I think honestly I might just see if I can go and find an audiobook for this one and listen to it that way. But it makes me happy because so far we've been getting a lot of fantasy picks, and I love my thrillers, so this will kind of add a little happy mix for me. Then roll number 4 was a book ban, and I got a total of 5 days. I need to avoid buying books. If you know me, I tend to have a little bit of a book buying problem, especially if there happens to be a sale. So luckily we're doing this after all the Black Friday stuff is over with, and I can start also keeping away from buying books because of Christmas and my birthday. Charles has looked through the books that I usually end up getting for myself whenever there's a sale, so I've been safe so far with doing some book purchases. But if I'm able to go 5 days without buying any books, I'll get a total of 3 points for this. Then because we didn't get a book option for our 4th roll, I decided to roll one more time, and we landed on pick a card, and I did a few redrawings for this because I didn't want to do one where the book was insanely long. I don't really want to get into a book slump. And I also do have a goal of reading 100 books for the year, and I think I'm around 87 or 88 right now, so shorter books might be better to help me achieve my reading goal. So just multiple things. Trying to achieve that goal and also not get into a reading slump would be really great right now. So I pulled another card, and I had one that said read a book that is between 200 to 300 pages. And this is where I switched things around, and I decided to move I, Medusa by Ayana Gray to our last option. This one goes over 300 pages a little bit. Let's see. It's technically 315 pages, but I feel like that's not too big of a deal. It's just an extra 15 pages, which is totally fine. That basically concludes the books that we're going to be reading for the month of December. I think it's a really interesting mixture. We have a lot of fantasy, and normally I don't really read fantasy, but we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for all of these options, and I really can't wait to see what is our favorite out of all of those. As I said in the beginning, if you think that I should carry over the amount of points that we've had so far this year for Defend the TBR to next year when we completely change things over, let me know, or if you think I should go and restart. Also, if you've read any of these books and you have one that you'd like me to start reading first for the month of December, definitely let me know down in the comments below. And I think if you made it to this point of the video and you don't know what to comment, possibly leave like maybe some flames for Spark of the Everflame. I feel like that's kind of fitting, even though we're hoping for winter right now and probably snow would be a lot better. So if you're wanting to go and bring some snowy vibes, you could also leave a snowflake comment instead. Totally fine, whichever one you choose. But I hope that you're excited for Bookmas because this is our first video, and like I said, we're going to be doing 12 days of Bookmas, and I'm really excited but also really nervous. I still think it's a very feasible goal for me to do. So if you're excited for that, definitely go and subscribe so that you'll be notified whenever the next video comes out. And I appreciate you all so much for being with me, and I can't believe we're getting so close to the end of the year. But as always, before I wrap things up, I just want to remind you all to not forget that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye, friends.